So let's talk about something huge. How is artificial intelligence completely changing the value of a college degree and, well, the entire map of your future career? It's a massive question, I know. But we're going to break down what's really going on, what it means for you, and how the world is basically scrambling to keep up. Okay, let's just dive right in. All right, let's kick things off with a number that'll really make you think. 7%. According to Goldman Sachs, that's the slice of the US workforce that could be straight up displaced by AI in just the next 10 years. Now, 7% might not sound like a crazy world-ending number at first, but let's put that in perspective. We're talking millions of jobs, millions of people whose careers could be automated, totally transformed, or maybe even just gone. That's the scale of the disruption we're really talking about here. And look, this isn't some abstract number on a spreadsheet. This quote from a recent grad, man, it just hits you. It puts a human face on that 7%. You can just feel the anxiety that a whole generation is dealing with. I mean, they did everything they were supposed to do, right? Studied hard, got the degree, and now they're not just competing with other people. They're competing with an algorithm for that first critical job. It's a completely new game, one nobody really prepared them for. So this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Is that diploma, that piece of paper that our parents and grandparents saw as a golden ticket to a stable life, is it becoming worthless, or is something else happening? Is this just a massive evolution where the rules of the game are changing and we all just have to learn how to play it differently? Okay, to even begin to answer that, we've got to look at the shockwave that's hitting the job market right now. Let's call it the AI job market shock. It's kind of like the first big tremor of this whole technological earthquake. What's wild is that a pattern that's held true for decades is literally flipping on its head. For as long as we can remember, the rule was simple. A college degree was your best defense against unemployment. College grads were always the safest bet in any economy. But that's changing. And it's happening because of a kind of perfect storm. We have more graduates than ever pouring into the workforce at the exact same moment that AI is getting insanely good at doing all those entry-level white-collar jobs. You know, things like basic research, data entry, simple analysis, the stuff you do to get your foot in the door. And this slide, well, it lays out the basic economics of the problem perfectly. It's a classic supply and demand issue. On one side, the supply of graduates is at an all-time high. But on the other side, the demand for those traditional junior roles is flattening out, or in some fields, it's actually dropping. And why is that? Well, because one senior-level employee with a powerful AI assistant can now do the work that used to take a whole team of junior staff. It creates this glut where you have way too many qualified people all fighting for a shrinking number of starting positions. But you know, losing your job to a robot is only the most obvious fear. There's something else, something sneakier going on inside the AI systems that are being used to hire people and decide who gets into college. And that's algorithmic bias. So, what in the world is algorithmic bias? Well, to put it simply, it's when an AI makes a prejudiced decision because it learned from our own biased history. The AI isn't evil, right? It doesn't have bad intentions. It's just a mirror, and it's reflecting the flawed, messy data that we feed it. Data that is just packed with all of our historical inequalities and unconscious prejudices. Let me give you a classic and honestly kinda scary real-world example. Amazon decided to build an AI to screen resumes. The goal was to find the best talent faster. Sounds great, right? But they trained it on 10 years of their own hiring data, which in the tech world was mostly men. So what did the AI learn? It taught itself that male candidates were better. It got so bad that it literally started penalizing resumes that had the word women's in them, like captain of the women's rugby team. The engineers at Amazon, some of the smartest in the world, they couldn't fix it, so they had to scrap the whole thing. So you have to wonder, right, how does this even happen? It's not like a programmer is sitting there typing, "Okay, computer, be biased now." The reality is so much more complicated and subtle than that. Yeah, it's not just one thing. Bias kind of seeps in from all these different angles. First, the data itself comes from an unfair world. Then, for some groups of people, there might not be much data at all. Plus, we humans, with all our own baggage, are the ones choosing and labeling the data in the first place. And maybe the scariest part? The AI might learn to use things that seem totally neutral, like your zip code, as a stand-in for something like race or income level. So the key thing to get is this. Biased AI isn't some bug that can be easily fixed. It's a feature of a system that's trained on messy, imperfect human data. Okay, so that's a lot of doom and gloom, right? Job market chaos, hidden biases. But here's the good news. People aren't just sitting around, they're already working on the solution. So how do we actually prepare for this new world? Well, the whole focus is shifting away from just having a degree to being able to prove you have the right skills. Smart people are already building roadmaps to navigate this. Take this framework from the Southern Regional Education Board. It's basically a 4-step journey. You start at stage 1, awareness, just getting a handle on what AI is. Then you move to exploration, which means getting your hands dirty, actually playing with the tools. After that comes application, using AI to solve actual real-world problems. And the final destination? Fluency. That's when you're not just a user, you're an expert who can use AI effectively, adaptively, and ethically. And when you break down what it means to be fluent in AI, it comes down to these 3 core areas. And check this out. You'd think that technical skills would be at the top, but look what is. Success skills. These are the timeless, deeply human abilities: communication, creativity, problem-solving, leadership. Then you have those baseline skills everyone's going to need, like understanding AI ethics and data privacy. And then, yes, you have the technical skills. The big takeaway here is so important. Your human skills aren't being replaced. They're being supercharged. And we can actually see where this is hitting the hardest right now, thanks to some data from the Fed. No surprise, majors like computer science and engineering are seeing the highest exposure to AI. I mean, that makes sense. It's where this stuff is being built and rolled out first. But look at the other bars. Even things like liberal arts and humanities. The exposure is lower, sure, but it's there, and it's growing. This isn't just a story about the tech industry. This is a story about every industry. So if the job market is going through this massive earthquake, what does that mean for the places that are supposed to prepare us for it? Yeah, universities. They have to change too. They just can't keep doing things the way they did in the 20th century. Think about it like this. On one side, you've got the traditional university. We all know the drill, right? A fixed curriculum for everyone, a big final exam at the end. But on the other side, you have this emerging idea of the smart university. This is a place where AI helps create a custom learning path for every single student. It automates all the boring administrative stuff, and it even gives you tests that adapt to your skill level in real time. Let's really dig into what personalized learning even means. Instead of you sitting in a giant lecture hall with 300 other people, imagine having an AI tutor that knows exactly where you're strong and where you struggle. It can build a learning path just for you, spending more time on the stuff you find hard and speeding past the concepts you already get. It's a total shift from one-size-fits-all education to truly tailored learning. And this, for me, is where it all clicks. The real magic isn't just about cool tech. It's about what it frees up the humans to do. By having AI handle the repetitive stuff like grading a mountain of tests or sorting out class schedules, it lets the professors and advisors focus on what they do best. Things like mentoring students, sparking their curiosity, and guiding them through the big, complex, ethical questions that an AI just can't handle. And that brings us to this idea, which really sums it all up beautifully. This isn't about replacing people with computers. Not at all. It's about creating a powerful partnership. The future, both in our jobs and in our schools, is all about this collaborative space where AI does the heavy lifting with data and we humans provide the creativity, the context, and the wisdom. Okay, so if you take away just one single thing from all of this, please let it be this. AI is not making us obsolete. Far from it. What it's actually doing is making our most human skills more valuable than they have ever been. Your ability to think critically, to come up with a truly original idea, to lead a team, to understand how someone else feels, to make a tough call, those are the skills that are becoming the new gold standard. That is your edge over the machine. Look, the world is changing faster than ever. The old rulebooks for how to build a career, for what education means, they're being tossed out. AI is writing a brand new one as we speak. So the only real question left is, are you ready to learn the new rules and get in the game?